Hey everyone, I'm Salman and welcome to Salman Needs a Job. I'm here with a friend, Rhic, from Biconomy, a very familiar face in Web3 if you're from Bangalore and even India maybe because he travels a lot for advocating about Web3. Biconomy as well, a prominent company out of India, I believe. In the space in general, and we're going to find out about that. So this is a total I think Web3 conversation, just understanding what is the Web3 scene like in India. I think Rhic brings a good lens from the experience that he has. And then we are, by the way, at ETH India, do I have to tell you, and this is Space Kayak who has built this amazing, all of this awesome art in the background. How are you doing, Rhic?
I'm good, man. I'm tired, but also excited to see all the innovation going on here. 2,000 devs sitting in one big hall. It's crazy, right? It's the biggest hackathon I've been to for sure.
What is the vibe like? What are people working on?
There's a few different themes. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out where that next kind of big mainstream breakthrough is going to be, whether that is in health tech or like some sort of government infrastructure or things like that. Those will probably take more time in general to get real world adoption, but it's really great to see people exploring these, advanced use cases that's possible with blockchain technology.
Do you feel like the ideas have matured, or the kind of things that people are working on over the past many months with so much like hackathons that is happening? Do you feel like it's different now?
For sure. I think as time moves on, the space moves on, there's a lot more education that is happening and it'll keep on improving, right? I think more like advanced topics almost at the edge of where research is, even from the Ethereum Foundation, things like account abstraction. We see a lot of projects knowing about it, building on top of it. So it's heartening to see, and we hope to see much more of this.
Awesome. Now, just tell me about you. Introduce yourself. What do you do, and how do you contribute to the space in general?
Okay. So my name is Rhic. I'm a growth lead at Biconomy. I've been with Biconomy for over a year and been taking care of like BD, partnership strategy, all that sort of stuff here. For me, my role is like talking to a lot of different types of people building cool things right from the scratch, people kind of into it, ecosystem enablers, communities, all sorts of people, and just figuring out what the pulse is of the industry, what people need in the market, how we can build those solutions for them. Because at the end of the day, we are a dev-focused company. So whatever we build is for others to use. So for us, it's like we are fully B2B, so getting feedback from projects and devs is crucial for us, and that is also a very important part of my role.
So just to hear that again, digest it, your job is to speak to people. Is that
kind of like you, sir.
No, but that is so interesting. Your job is to understand the ecosystem, actively engage talk to the people and understand the kind of things that is happening. So how does it work? Do you take this information back to Biconomy? How does it translate into the product?
Yeah, I think if it comes to feedback from the market, it's something that has to go back to the product team, because product should always be growth-led or market-led, where you do research, you figure out what the market needs, and then you build that, instead of just being tech-led, that, okay, this is cool shit we are building, and let's make a product out of it, right? That's not how we want to do things. We want to build real utility for people. 3+ years ago, when Biconomy was started, the thesis was that developer experiences are complex, we want to simplify them. User experiences are complex, we want to simplify them. And we are still doing that, right? The mission, the vision hasn't changed a lot, if at all. How we are doing it obviously evolves as the space evolves, as the tech evolves, but we are laser focused in kind of simplifying experiences and onboarding the next billion users onto Web3.
We'll get into Biconomy. Before that, you are also invested to Web3 education, right? You do a lot of talks and on many topics, I believe, and you also are just generally very active in the circuits. So what do you feel is the Web3 education scene like, and also what is the general awareness level of people who are coming here and all that?
I think it's always improving, right? That's where we are in the space. It has to be always improving as well, because it's still very early. Obviously in a city like Bangalore, the education levels are much higher. People in ETH India, for example, know a lot of things, right? But when you go to maybe smaller towns or even just places with not as much culture of startups and maybe developers, then you reach a level where they're still like learning about what exactly is Web3, why is decentralization important, or what exactly dApps are versus just trading crypto on a centralized exchange, right? So I think we are at a scale of education, and we are just stepping up the rungs in like everything we do. That's towards that end. The goal is educate everyone and bring in that understanding that this is just the next version of the internet, and we all are going to be on it.
Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying these videos that you're seeing from India Blockchain Week and ETH India. Just a quick commercial break. If you like the content that you're seeing on this channel, and if you would like me to continue what I'm doing, which is covering what is happening in Web3 and generally like the world of work in this space through my little project called Salman Needs a Job, I have a crowdfund that is active on a platform called Juicebox. Consider supporting. Thank you. Back to the video. I'm curious, what kind of questions do people usually come to you with? People come to you and ask you questions, right, at all these meetings. What are some common, challenges or something that people are always thinking about?
I think it's a few of the generic ones that you can guess right off the bat are going to be like, one is about Biconomy, anything about the company, right? How to integrate, how to make best use of it, all that stuff. But then there's also the standard kind of funding sort of questions that are we supporting projects? How can they raise those sort of things? But yeah, I think I also get a lot of questions about what to build and what not to build, and what exactly is, let's say, needed in terms of features, in terms of what people are building in the market and what is there in terms of demand. So just as someone who's talking to a lot of people, like you mentioned, has a certain kind of finger on the pulse, sort of. It's useful to continue these conversations and keep figuring out and helping other builders in the space.
How are you educating yourself? Like, are you a developer, by the way?
No, I'm not a developer. I'm an engineer, but I've not coded in over a year.
But you're quite technical too. It sounds.
Yeah. I think I do like to be. It's very important to understand the product. For me, it's very important to understand the space and everything in it. I like to keep reading as much as possible, listen to podcasts as well, but just read more technical docs and stuff like that, understand how different protocols work. It's not just about what we are doing at Biconomy or the tech we've built, the products we've built, but also what else is going on in the space and maybe what we need to do next, right?
So you read white papers and things like that?
Yeah, but not just white papers. I think what's very important to see from my perspective is what exactly are people implementing and what is getting used. So white paper is a good starting point if you want to really understand just the technical nitty-gritties of something. But also what's important is user documentation and developer documentation so that you figure out what are the problems that people have faced in alternate products, let's say. How is this product different, how it solves something else, or basically something as simple as how are people going to use it and what is it going to solve for end users, right?
Awesome. Thank you for that. I think that was very interesting information just about learning about the Web3 in general. Biconomy, like, can you explain what is Biconomy? I think Biconomy is one of the most prominent Web3 product brands out of India, at least. Yeah. So what does Biconomy?
The short version is that the short test version is that we are a Web3 infrastructure company. Slightly longer version is that we build infrastructure that is focused on improving user experiences and developer experiences with the aim of simplifying dApp UX so that these dApps are then ready for mass adoption. Because as it stands, UX in Web3 is still complex, whether that is key management side of things, gas management side of things, or even chains. A lot of new users kind of get intimidated. So we've built a suite of tools, APIs, SDKs over the last 3+ years that essentially simplifies these experiences and makes it easier to onboard Web2 native users onto the space.
What does it look like? Give me some example.
So right now, we just launched our new SDK 2 weeks ago, and that is actually an end-to-end wallet SDK. So earlier we were just tackling things in certain verticals, like account abstraction is the base of this new SDK. So gasless is like one small part of it. But earlier gasless was it's our flagship product, right? We've been live with it for 3 years, 200 plus clients on it on mainnet, including the likes of Decentraland, Zrun,
They
Sandbox.
all use Biconomy SDK for their...
So projects like Decentraland, Sandbox, they all use Biconomy for doing gasless transactions for their end users. So the game here is that end users don't need to worry about gas. That's something that the project is sponsoring on their behalf, right? Improve the UX, simplify transaction journeys, and reduce drop-off rates. That's the narrative. But even gas is just like one small part of the entire user journey, right? There's a lot of other things that come in, like what is a wallet? If I don't have a wallet, how do I create one? Where do I back up my seed phrase? What is gas? Of course, how much to pay? What are chains? How do I change chains? All these things. How do I move funds from one chain to another? So these things make the entire journey complex. And our aim with this new SDK and account abstraction is to abstract all these complexities away from end users. So at the end, a dApp built on top of this SDK will feel and use like a Web2 application while still being fully non-custodial and on-chain. So these things are like very crucial for us. We don't want to have centralization and custody of user funds. So I think onboarding people onto Web3 in a kind of keyless, gasless, chainless sort of manner is what needs to be done. Otherwise, we can't target these Web2 people.
So these are new products that you expect to come out of these solutions that you provide. So these are new wallets without abstracting all of these areas and making it easier for people, customers to consume.
So
and for developers to implement.
Of course. So what we have built out is this SDK that developers can implement in their wallet, in their game, in their DeFi application, anywhere. We already have a bunch of people on testnet. We had almost 100 submissions today from developers building using the new Biconomy SDK. So it's for developers. It's not for end users. The SDK itself is for developers, but you can build and you will build user-facing applications on top of this. So whether that is a smart contract wallet itself, there are projects that will be going live with our SDK as a wallet in the next few weeks, or that's a simple game and you're using this SDK as an in-game wallet. Let's say you're targeting Web2 users who don't have wallets, so you just get them logged in via their email, right? And you automatically generate a wallet for them, right? And then you have integrated fiat on ramps, all sorts of things just to make the UX simple.
Interesting, super interesting. So how is it like to work at Biconomy, and what was the team looking like?
It's amazing for me. I mean, it's been a crazy year for me. I've been here since over a year now.
You're an OG now.
Time moves fast in this space, right? Time moves quickly. So I won't call myself an OG by any means. Every day I meet people who've been around for much longer and have done like a lot cooler things. So it's always humbling and a great learning experience to keep learning from other people, building great things in the space, right? At Biconomy, we have a really great culture. I think that's the best part about the company, that, the people I work with, my friends who are sitting behind the camera actually, they make working every day fun, right? They make putting in all these hours to do an event like this fun. And that's I think the most important thing in any place you work at, the people who are there. And we also have this mentality of not settling and always trying to innovate and gun for what the future is, and have that vision, have that willingness to take risks, take bets, and really, really make a difference. So I think that's why I think, Biconomy is a great place to be at. Definitely enjoyed my time here so far, and looking forward to,
Awesome.
Very, very exciting next year we have coming up for sure.
Is it because of all the new developments or the company growth?
Both of those things. So we just launched this new product. We expect this to be really a game changer, essentially, for applications. I think the account abstraction narrative is still early. A lot of projects haven't thought or built on top of it. But in the long term, we believe that everyone will. So this is something we are working very, very hard towards. And We've already made the first version of the SDK. We've put it out for devs to use. Improvements will keep on happening over the next year, and also, other stuff that's going to come out as well.
What do you feel about the other products that are coming out of India in general? Like, what are you most interested in?
I try to keep an eye on all sorts of products, whether that is DeFi or gaming or social. I think there's a lot of really promising young projects in Web3 in India, especially in Bangalore. I think it's very difficult to walk around in Bangalore without meeting someone who's building something really cool in Web3, right? So that's always great to see. I think the bear market itself will really be the test that everyone is going to have to face. And it's a test of your determination, of your grit to just keep going, and also your ability to keep building great products. Because people who will be left at the end of whatever stretch this bear market is, they would have accomplished something great for sure.
Wow, that is so awesome. That is super inspiring. Any tip you have for people that are watching, just trying to get involved, trying to attending these meetups, and just wanting to find their spot in the place, and even if they're non-technical,
Yeah, I would say just get involved. One of the coolest things about Web3 is it's a permissionless system, right? Blockchains are permissionless. You don't need anyone's permission to post a transaction to Polygon. So get involved in any communities you want to be a part of. Talk to as many people as you can. Feel free to DM any people who you feel can help you with anything. What I have seen is that a lot of people in the space are very, very helpful, right? So, generate knowledge, absorb knowledge, and keep going, keep learning. That's all you can do. Eventually things will start falling into place as you keep learning, keep making connections, and keep understanding what is going on. Because oftentimes what is really happening, what will happen in the next 2-3 months, those may not be apparent at the surface level, right? So you need to dig a bit deeper sometimes.
Good. Awesome. Thank you so much. I think this has been an amazing conversation. Long time coming. And guys, check out Salman Needs a Job. Do subscribe. And Rhic, your Twitter?
0xRHIC.
Also, Juicebox campaign in the description.